Let's think about the university experience a little differently. It's not just about lectures and exams. I want you to think of it as a journey, one that's going to fundamentally change who you are. And, like any great adventure, you're going to need a map, a clear destination, and a really good reason for taking that first step.
So let's just cut to the chase with the most important question of all. Forget what you told your parents or what you wrote on your application essay. Just for a second, be honest with yourself. Why are you really here?
So, if you're feeling this crazy mix of excitement, anxiety, and maybe you're just a little bit confused, guess what? That is 100% normal. You're standing at the starting line of a huge adventure, and it is totally okay to have more questions than answers right now.
To help you find some of those answers, we're going to use this really powerful little tool. It's called the 5 Whys. It sounds kind of technical, but it's actually super simple. It's just a way to cut through all the surface-level answers to discover what truly drives you. Let's check it out.
All right, this first section is all about you. We're going to use this technique to uncover your personal purpose. The fuel that's going to keep you going when things get tough.
Okay, so here's how it works. You start with a simple, basic statement. Why are you here? To earn a degree in computer science. Okay, fair enough. But why is that important? Well, to get a job. Okay, but why that job? Because I like creating things with code. See? You keep going. Each why peels back another layer, taking you from a practical goal to a personal passion, until, bam, you hit a core value. That is your real motivation.
Okay, so now that you're thinking about your inner motivation, let's talk about the external rewards. What are the actual tangible payoffs for going on this journey? The stakes are definitely high, but trust me, so are the rewards.
Look, let's be direct here. University is a massive investment. We're talking your time, your energy, and, of course, your money. So what's the return on that investment? What do you actually get back?
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. When you look at it as a long-term investment, the lifetime return on a university degree is estimated to be a staggering 1,500%. Yeah, you heard that right. That is not a typo. So let's break down what that actually means in dollars and cents.
So what does 1,500% look like in the real world? Well, over an entire lifetime, the average person with a bachelor's degree earns over $1.1 million more than someone with just a high school diploma. I mean, that is a game changer. That piece of paper is incredibly powerful. But listen, the payoff isn't just about the money, not even close. People with degrees also tend to have higher job satisfaction, more stability, and lower unemployment rates. They even report better health. And maybe most importantly, university is this low-risk environment to build the skills every single employer is looking for: leadership, communication, and critical thinking.
Okay, so the rewards are clear. But to get there, you've got to understand that you're playing a completely new game now. All the rules you knew before, yeah, they've changed.
You are making a huge transition here. High school was this structured, guided world. University, on the other hand, is a whole new world of independence where you are in the driver's seat.
And the differences are pretty stark. In high school, your grade came from tons of little tests and assignments. Here, it might come from just a few really high-stakes exams. In high school, most of the learning happened in the classroom. Here, most of it happens outside the classroom on your own time. And maybe the biggest shift of all, in high school, teachers and parents were always there to tell you when you needed help. In university, you have to figure that out for yourself and then go find that help.
So the most important point is this. It's a simple sentence, but it changes everything. Learning is now your responsibility. Full stop.
Now, taking on that responsibility can feel, well, a little daunting. So let's get you set up with a roadmap for what to expect, both emotionally and academically, during your first semester.
This timeline pretty much maps out the emotional roller coaster of that first semester. August is all about adjusting, maybe some homesickness. September, you might get a bit of a shock with your first big test grades. By October, you start to get your feet under you. November is just a juggling act, and December is all about that final push to the finish line. Sound familiar? It's a pretty shared experience.
I guarantee you are going to have moments where you feel exactly like this. You will struggle. You're going to doubt yourself. And let me be perfectly clear, this is not a sign of failure. It is a normal, expected, and honestly, a necessary part of the journey.
And here is the single most important strategy for getting through those challenges. Just remember that you don't have to do it alone.
You might start to feel something called imposter syndrome, that nagging little voice that tells you you don't belong here. Newsflash, almost everyone feels it. The key is to know that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Your university has this whole ecosystem of support, advisors, tutors, counselors, and their entire job is to help you succeed. Use them.
Which brings us to our final and honestly our most important section. All of this, the purpose, the challenges, the responsibility, it's all about building one thing.
See, the ultimate reward of this whole journey isn't just the diploma you get at the end. It's the resilience you build along the way. It's the ability to thrive not just when things are easy, but especially when they get hard. In one word, it's about developing grit.
The researcher Angela Duckworth defines it perfectly. She says grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is sticking with your future, day in and day out, for years. It's stamina. It's not about being the most talented person, it's about tenacity. It's what turns challenges into triumphs.
Because at the end of these 4 years, success isn't just measured by the knowledge you've picked up, it's measured by the person you have become. More resilient, more capable, and more prepared for whatever life decides to throw at you next.
So you've got the map, you know the stakes, and you know that the ultimate prize is that resilience, that grit. The journey is officially yours. So the only question left is, what will you do with it?